What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here physically with
Hello.
Michelle, and we are discussing Outlander Season 7, Episode 8. It is the, I guess you can call it mid-season finale for Season 7, even though Season 7 was over a year ago, but that's okay. Droughtlander is officially over. Episode 9 has been released. We are going to discuss that later, but first we need to catch up on the first half of season 7 and this episode. And it's been so long, Michelle forgot that she watched the episode, or you said you didn't watch the episode?
I don't even remember.
So we were supposed to record this a few weeks ago. We both got busy with work. And then Michelle had laryngitis for almost a week.
Yes, and vertigo.
And vertigo, yes. And then we had conjuration. So we talked about this episode at conjuration. We need to get to it right now. So let's get to it. First off, Claire told Jamie, if you don't come back from this battle, I'm gonna come looking for you.
That's what she did.
And she had to fend off this woman and her child who was going through picking the pockets of the dead to get stuff. And this woman was really going to try to kill Jamie. And like, what?
But I don't understand. Like, you don't even have to kill him. Just hurry up and pick his pockets and go to another person.
Right, because
that's just how that works.
They're on the battlefield. Chances are
they're going to die soon.
They're going to die soon anyway.
Internal bleeding. I mean, they're going to die soon. But, with Claire, you can't mess with her boo. So she was like,
no, ma'am.
No.
And even if they don't die,
you can still pick their pockets. They're not going to remember.
Not only that, but if they're taken to their camp to be, healed, fixed up, whatever, you really think they're going to go back and look for whatever was in their pockets? They are probably
I
just
don't really care what was in my pocket.
They just glad to be alive.
Be honest.
They just glad to be alive.
Well, you know what? Honestly, probably they do care, because if they have something in their pocket, then that means it's something extremely important, because you're not taking everything with you. Like, you're not taking a $20 bill and some pennies. You're taking like a wedding ring or your
like a portrait of your child,
or a necklace. So you will start to, once you get healed, you'll be looking for it.
Yeah, but just like that woman, she picked through Jamie's pocket. She saw the portrait. She was like, this is of no value to me. I'm going to throw it down on the ground.
Just put it in his pocket. Let him die with it.
Yeah, but the thing is, she was messing with the wrong one.
Yeah.
Messing with the wrong one. Now, we had this conversation about Jamie and his 9 lives.
He's a cat.
Listen. How many,
how many? I know you will. How many?
I don't even know if I can remember all the lives.
This could be someone he was a kid. It could be one even almost died when he was a kid.
Right.
So,
but to have your hand have a sword go through your hand all the way to the So, but the good thing about this is, in the episode when Claire, when she does the surgery to repair his hand, in the books, she has to actually take his finger. So he's literally, I can't remember what is this hand. So he's literally like this now because she has to take the finger.
But which hand?
I think it's the left hand, because it's the hand that was damaged before.
Okay.
So yeah,
it's not that important.
I mean, no, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm just speaking on Claire's behalf.
Yeah. But yeah. But okay, so let's talk about this. First Battle of Saratoga. Jamie gets injured. Like we said, he wasn't supposed to be there. Captain, was it Colonel Morgan? Captain Morgan? Colonel Morgan, I'm thinking.
Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan is the alcohol.
Yes.
And Colonel Morgan. Colonel Morgan's troops were not supposed to enter the fray. They did, and it turns out it made the difference, And it's one of those things where Jamie and Claire, they always talk about the little things that they try to do to change history. And it's like the big stuff they can't change, but the little stuff they can, just like with the Battle of Preston Pans and the Battle of Culloden. Some people were able to make it home from Clan Fraser. They didn't die. they were able, that's just a small change they were able to do, just like here. They were able to save.
So did they really make a change, or was the change already there? And see, that's the thing about time travel. Like,
so
what came first? So like they say they're making these little changes. Maybe they always made those little changes. And see, that's the hard part.
I don't know.
I know.
Like we said in the last episode, if this was one of those time travel things where, you change something different and it goes off into another branch, multiverse, for Marvel fans or whatever, something like that, then it would be different. But I don't think it works that way in this show. And I think just this, those are the small things. Would they have been able to stop the battle altogether? I don't think that would have happened. I don't think
so, but I'm like, even those small things, do we know that those small things already had happened?
I think if they looked through history books,
but they hadn't. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's like
they might have been able to say
general big information. They know the big things that happened,
right?
But the little things they don't know what happened, which could have already happened because they were already meant to be there to do it.
That's possible, but it's also possible that maybe a couple of thousand men did survive because of Jamie being on, the sniper unit. I can't remember what they call them, but
which then does change the time. Like I'm speaking like we're in Marvel. This is a whole different section.
There is no multiverse. No, there is no. This is the sacred timeline.
The extra person that he saved does change things, but maybe that person has already been saved. See, that's the hard part.
It could be,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know what? But you know what? It's not explained and it's not important. So we don't know.
But I mean, just like Claire said back in, I think it was season 6, when she was trying to do when she was trying to make the penicillin, and she told Brianna, she said, every person that I save here is a small change. So maybe it's just like these little small things, because they're so, I don't want to say insignificant, because I'm sure to the person whose life she saved, that was significant, but it's not significant enough to make a major change. Like maybe these
people living and their kids living and then their kids living and their kids living, they're insignificant.
It may not, it may be. Yeah. Well, we're not going to say they're insignificant.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe they need to be people, they need to be so they can still stay alive, because they don't mess up what's happening in the world. So
I'm saying those people probably aren't important enough. Like they don't have anything to do with changing
and
history.
Their future ancestors don't have anything. Like there's no, current president or
their descendants,
cure cancer. That's just not going to happen with that line, and that's why they were able to save that line.
Because like we said, when it comes to time traveling and certain things, a lot of this stuff is fixed points. Even when Jamie and Claire tried to change things in France, it always self-corrected to do what it was supposed to do. So I think, I don't know, there has to be some kind of balance.
Even Jamie being alive, maybe he was always going to be alive, because it was always Claire coming back and them doing this.
See?
Okay. Now I'm sorry, everyone.
It's okay. We're just trying to figure this thing out, because time travel is one of those things. Time is a construct. But anyway, we meet Benedict Arnold in this episode.
Yes. I like when she throws in historical figures.
Yes. And then it's so interesting with this, because Benedict Arnold, of course, he's on the rebel side. And this is how Claire meets him, because he is also maybe not a great healer, but he also does, triage for people in his camp. And he comes looking for, I think it was cinchona bark, but he comes looking for herbs, and she's able to exchange. And this is when she realizes who he is. And she's telling Jamie, she was like, so he's on our side right now, but there's something that happens that makes him turn, and his name will forever be synonymous with being a traitor, even 200 years from now. And it's so interesting, because a lot of times when we do meet these characters, like when we met Benedict Arnold in this episode. Very courteous, very gentlemanly, very affable, very much a likable person. So then you start to wonder, what is it that's going to make him turn? And then later on, after the second Battle of Saratoga happens, he leads the charge to shoot Simon Fraser, Jamie's second cousin. Simon is shot, and then he leads the charge to go overtake the fort. Now, in the midst of all of that, he gets hurt again, and he talks to Claire about this injury that he had during a battle years back. So now he's re-injured this leg, and not only that, the what do they call the general? They call him Granny Gates, I think, because he's so old. But General Gates and Benedict Arnold apparently have this long-running feud between themselves, and he's sitting on the he's sitting on the stretcher, and he's telling Claire about how Gates will never acknowledge him for the great things that he does in battle. He was like, my name will be lost to history. I won't be remembered. It's not fair. Is it wrong of me to feel this way, or to feel anger or animosity towards him? And Claire was like, she told Jamie, she said, I had to tell him the truth, but I hope that's not what sets him on his path to turn his coat. And I'm like, no, I don't think it is. It's the way that Gates is.
Yeah, it's already there.
It's already
there. So you just can't be mistreating, You
just gave the you a nudge.
Yeah, you did, but you can't mistreat people, because so now he's thinking his name will never be known, and it's going to be known forever and ever.
Very notorious, which is sad. But okay, so I want to talk about William.
But before then, I just looked up, and Claire's laying next to
No, we're not going to have this conversation.
You already know where I was going to go.
We're not about to have this conversation. They are nowhere near death. I think Jamie still
I know. I was about to say, that's what I need at the end. But okay.
No.
She's just laying next to him, and
no,
holding him.
No. She keeps talking about she wants this notebook ending. No.
Okay.
Jamie and Claire don't need to be.
But I can see it. Okay. Okay. William.
Ooh. I'm just giving her this look. Just for those of y'all are like, why is she so quiet? Because I'm giving her this look, because we are not going to have a notebook ending. We are not going to have them die and just, no, it's not happening.
In old age, everyone must die. But I'd rather them die together.
Anyway.
Okay.
Let's talk about William a little bit. Because first Battle of Saratoga, William learns about battle. He learns about war. He learns that it's not all pretty and glorified the way that, I think part of the problem with war is men romanticize it, in a sense. Like it's this thing, you go off and you're fighting for your country, and they
in the midst of it.
Yeah, they make it seem just like so glorious. And then,
but I'm going to say this: we do that with everything.
We glorify
marriage, having kids, war, sometimes life, and then when you're in the midst of it, it's not.
That is true. That is true. But in this instance,
he learned the hard way.
He did in the last battle. So I think he was better prepared in this one. Also because I think this is like, I can't remember the timelines, but it's been several months. They kind of they do a quick time jump to the second battle, and you do see William there on the battlefield with Simon Fraser. Simon Fraser, of course, being the general, he's on his horse, and he's just kind of telling everybody what to do. And you have the rebels who are coming to fight. Jamie is one of those rebels, and they're exchanging gunfire back and forth. Now, Jamie realizes his cousin is on the other side of the battlefield, but of course he can't tell anybody in his camp that, because they might start thinking, oh, okay, well, are you really trying to be here, or are you a spy? That sort of thing. I mean, you do have family that fight on opposite sides of war. And of course, this is not the first time that's happened for Jamie. But while they're exchanging gunfire, an order is given. Matter of fact, I think it was Benedict Arnold who gave the order to kill Simon Fraser. Like, hey, if we do that, then we can, we could probably finish this battle fairly quickly. And so that's what happened. Simon Fraser does get shot. But the crazy thing, and I know this is not going to be a thing, but it was still close enough. Jamie is trying to keep Simon out of harm's way. You know, Jamie's a good shot. He is the one that has ordered Fraser, shoot the general, shoot the general. And of course, he can't really shoot Simon. So he shoots towards Simon, but he aims at one of the other soldiers and he shoots that soldier's hat off. And when the soldier turns around to look, it is William.
Boy, you almost killed your son.
I was like, you know what? If I was Jamie at that point,
I'm putting that gun down. I can't.
I would have pretended I got shot or something.
I can't. I just can't.
It's too close.
Because you just will now you will never know. If we continue having battles like this, it's like at any point he can shoot you or you gonna shoot him. And then you good at your job. So you good at war. So that pretty much means William is dead.
But I don't think he was really trying to kill whoever was there. He was just trying to make it seem like, okay, yes, I took a shot at General Fraser. Right. And he's you know,
no, but he still could have shot him, and even not back then, even a small wound can turn into death.
This is true. It was too close. There have been a lot of close calls, and I was just like, at this point, Jamie needs to demand, okay, you know what? I cannot be in this war anymore. I know he can't tell people that William is his son, but he can at least say, yo, even though we're on opposite sides, like, that's the son of my best mate.
Right. Or so I got some relatives on the other side. I don't want to say who the relatives are. We are, of course, again, but
I mean, they probably already figured out that General Simon Fraser is a relative, a distant relative of Jamie's.
Well, they do when they ask him to take his body home. So,
well, yeah, because at that point they say Simon has realized that Jamie was there. And he was like, okay, I want to see him again, which leads to a very poignant part of the episode because Jamie and Claire, they do go over to see Simon before he succumbs to his injuries. And, you know, you get a little bit of these two people who are on opposite sides of this war, and they get to reminisce about their days as kids chasing after the older boys. And it's a very bittersweet moment, which I like to see because, of course, Jamie hasn't had any other family except for who's with him in North Carolina. You know, all his other Scottish relatives, he hasn't seen in years. So it's nice that he's able to connect. While he's doing that inside, Claire is outside. And of course, she runs into William. And she realizes that William is kind of close to the general, and she she says, I'm so sorry for your loss. And he was like, thank you. And then he was like, oh, wait, did you mean the battle? And I was like, oh, yeah, you are kind of losing two things at once because, you know, the British for that battle, they did surrender because, you know, they got overpowered. But it's so interesting because we talk about Jamie and how his oath was to not see William as an adult because, you know, supposedly, because of how close they look. And of course, we said it, you can't really tell it in the show, but in the books, they're almost identical. But he's getting ready to leave the tent after Simon passes. And one of the other soldiers is talking to William about how he was like, where's your hat? And he was like, yeah, I forgot what term he used, but yeah, like basically someone robbed me of my hat. And Jamie kind of stops and he turns around, he gives the hat to William, and he was like, he keeps his head down, except for he looks at him once, eye to eye, and then he's like, I believe I owe you a hat, sir. And he bows his head like, yeah, I'm the one that shot you. And it's like, you see all these emotions on William's face because, one, this is Mac. This is a former groom. And, you know, this is also his father's dearest friend. This is also someone who I think, even though he doesn't remember Jamie a lot, he does respect. You know, when he saw Claire at Fort Ticonderoga and realized that she was a rebel, you know, he had kind of feelings about that too, because he was like, these are people who I know, these are people who have been nice to me, they've treated me with respect, but they're rebels. So, you know, it kind of puts doubt in his mind, because of course when you're in that kind of war, the only thing you're thinking of is the people on the opposite side of you, they're enemies.
Yep.
You don't think about them in terms of people that you know, people that you love, people that you respect, that sort of thing. So he's looking at Jamie with all of this, and then to also realize Jamie almost killed him. It's just like, I was sitting there like, I need y'all to hurry up and push this part of the storyline along. I need Wing to know.
I do too. And I can't wait for that episode.
Oh, I think it's coming. So I think we'll probably get that like early in the next half of the show. I think it'll be before the midway point. It has to be, because again, I've gotten caught up with the books. So I know kind of where things are gonna happen. There's so much that they have to do story-wise. And even
have much time left.
Yeah, and even some of the stuff that I thought they were not going to do in the next part of the or rather at any part of the rest of the show, they're actually bringing some of those stories in based on what I've seen in the trailer and the few clips they've already released for episode 9. So I was like, oh, I have to rethink this whole thing now. Like, what are they doing? What are they not? But based on episode titles, I think the William and Jamie connection will be revealed. I would say probably maybe around episode 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't look at episode
or 5. Episode 10 or 11, I think. Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. Next one is 9. Mm-hmm. So 10. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I
it's time. We've been, sneaking him in at different points, but now it's full-fledged. He needs to know who his family is. Mm-hmm. And then we can get over all the issues that's going to happen when he finds out, and then we can get to them being a family.
Because
before this ends.
Because but it's gonna be the only part about it.
Sister.
Yeah, and that's sister, what I was gonna say.
His cousin.
He's met his sister and didn't even know that it was his sister, and now she's not even in the same time period.
Right.
So and then how are they gonna explain that to him?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, where'd she go? Like, she can't come to visit. I can't write her a letter.
Right. Well, he knows that she's in Boston because that's what she told him when she met him.
And what if he tries to go to Boston looking for her, and they're like, she's not here? No, sir, she's not. So,
I don't know. I need them to. Even though
my prediction is everyone's coming back to this timeline. I mean, not timeline, but this time period. Mm-hmm. So Brianna will be back. The whole family will be back together.
I told you what it needs, and I'm not even going.
And I don't even going read the books, but we got to get them from what were the 70s,
1980.
The 80s, okay, 80s. Mm-hmm. We need to get them back. So,
well, I mean, like I said, they probably changed some stuff.
Mandy is good. Her heart is solid.
They probably changed some stuff from the book. So I can't say, like, I don't know what direction they're going in, because of course they're ending next season. So a lot of the stuff that's happened in the books, they're going to either have to cut it out or they're going to have to make some like major changes. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't even, I would expect
like the closure. We will need closure. And
yeah, you can't get closure if they in the 1980s.
Right. Especially with William. Like she will need to. Oh my gosh, this is too much.
And not only that,
and who's going to come to Ian and Rachel's wedding?
Well, not only that, but I mean, you really think that Brianna is going to just sit back and let Roger go look for Jeremiah alone? Well, not alone, because he's got
not alone. And honestly, she needs to stay. They have a kid. Like, this traveling back and forth. I'm trying to say, like, we all are. I know, but
you just
I'm
talking about
at the end.
Okay.
At the end. I said the end when William and all that find out. But right now, with what's happening, she needs to say. I think they take for granted that the traveling. It's like traveling. Okay, we don't really have many, plane crashes, cars. But sometimes I think we take advantage that the safety of things, and it's still not safe to travel. You don't know how you're going to travel, where you're going to travel. when you're going to travel to. So we can't just go back and forth.
And you don't even know what's happening to their bodies when they're going through this, because
something could be happening to your body. We don't even know.
I think it is, because if you think about the way that Brianna and Roger discuss it, it almost feels like they're being pulled apart and reassembled.
And
so that's
horrible.
That's going to take some toll on your body.
It does. So, she needs to wait and see what happens first, and then they can get reunited with the son, and then they go back and see. Well, there's no reason to go back and see your parents either. So now something has to push them to go back.
Yeah, but so my thing is, if Roger is gone for too long, she'll probably go, because
and you got to take Mandy with you, because you have no family. You have no family to keep.
And not only that, she's not. I don't think she would leave Mandy behind.
No, I leave her with grandma. So I will come back and say, "Hey, I'm missing my whole entire family. I need y'all help."
And Jamie would be like,
okay, I'm down for the cause.
But she can't come back while they're in Scotland either. That one. No. Actually, they could, because they're in Scotland.
Oh. Okay, see, we just pieced together. So that's how they coming back. I love it.
That can work. I mean, because here's the thing. Jem is missing. Roger wants to go look for him. If Roger is gone for too long, she's probably going to assume that either Roger can't get back, Roger and Jem, let me say it like that, Roger and Jem can't get back, or she's going to assume Roger could be killed. Because think about it, if Rob Cameron, and we still got to figure out how Rob Cameron is able to get through the stones. But if they come across Rob Cameron, if Rob was crazy enough or ambitious enough, whatever you want to call it, to take Jem through the stones to try to find the French gold, you don't think he'd be willing to do whatever is needed in order to make sure that he's not thwarted in that? So if it comes to killing Roger and Buck, he very may well try to do that.
Yeah.
And like you said in I think it was the last episode, we talked about, we don't know who Rob Cameron is. We don't know how he's able to get through the stones.
We have no
idea. We don't know
who's
waiting for him on the other side, because like you said, if people are aware of time travelers, you don't know what kind of family they have left behind, or who could be like.
And we forget that. And then even like the people you save may not necessarily be great people.
Yeah.
And we learned that already. Mm-hmm. So you just never know what impact you have done to someone else, and they're on the sidelines watching and ready to strike. So and I think that's what Cameron is, someone who's been watching the sidelines and is ready to strike. And we haven't figured out what family member, or is it him? Maybe he was from the past too, and they did something to him. Like, we don't know.
Right.
And they didn't realize they did something to him. And now he wants, vengeance and gold.
But I just say this. If he traveled and he took Jem back to where Jamie and Claire are, and they happen to come across them on their travels through Scotland once they finally get there, because yes, they finally make it to Scotland, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. So
then Rob Cameron is a dead man. Right. So whatever his
but this all could have been saved if they asked him where the gold was. And he wrote that in the letter where the gold was. And then
I was wondering when you were going to bring that up.
But maybe Cameron gold isn't the gold. See, that's what I'm saying. We don't really know.
Yeah.
And that's what we had to figure out.
Yeah.
They're thinking it's gold, but it could just be pure, revenge.
Could be. But either way it goes, he needs to die.
So I don't know.
He needs to die, or he needs to be very badly hurt.
Did Bonnet have any other kid?
Probably.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just thinking of,
of other. Yeah, I don't think so. But also,
could have got affected by this. I don't know. But he was a horrible man, so you can't be like, "Oh, my daddy."
Well, I mean, some people.
Yeah, you could, because they could have lied about the situation, right. And then he went to follow them, and then realized what they not where they are. How they just disappeared,
right?
And I don't know,
right. But so I don't know. I think Brianna at some point may follow, especially if Roger doesn't come. But it's one of those things, like, how long do you wait? Because even if Rob Cameron made it through the Stones with Jem, made it to Inverness to
She
get a
has to wait
ship,
a while because, like he said in the episode, I gotta get on a ship,
and a
that
ship to North Carolina is
is
going to take months.
right. So literally, she got to sit around for months. Where do you say, like, Cameron took a leave of absence from work? Like, where is he at work?
And not only that,
Where you tell
Jem
the
is not in
school,
school.
but luckily DFAX is not around at this time to be like, the boy is not attending school. Well, people are gonna be looking for Roger.
Well, I mean, if
they can say they went to the States to go visit family members, but it's
or
been months.
they were having issues,
or we've been separated.
Yeah,
we just divided
like
the children in half.
But I just don't. Yeah, but you know what? Unfortunately, in the 80s, they did that a lot of times.
But so you can't. And it's sad that you have to wait that long. Like, you literally have to wait.
And we know Brianna. She
she
is afraid, so she ain't finna wait.
Right, but then what if this happens? Like, what if he did go through the Stones and then he realized, I don't like this plan. Cameron, go through the Stones, everyone. And he said, I don't like this plan, and come back through the Stones.
No, I don't.
No, but listen to this. He go through the Stones. A week later, go back through the Stones to 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
Cause all kind of issues. Brianna can't even tell Roger until he come back and say, I couldn't find our son. And I'll be like, your son came home like a week later. Okay. Cameron's in prison. We already had a trial and everything. We just been waiting for you to come back. And we just couldn't send word.
You know, with their kind of look, that might happen.
You see what I'm saying? And you be like, well, I wasted all this time. I miss. Yeah, your kids now are like seniors in high school.
You know what? No, we are not. No, because she definitely would not let him. No.
But Mandy had a ballet recital. You missed. It was great. That was in May. But we figured you were going to come home in August for the first week of school.
No, I just.
But that stuff could happen.
I know. Because it's so, everything is so uncertain.
Yeah, and then the traveling back then will take time. It takes time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can't just get on a plane and fly back to North Carolina and try to find the gold. I mean,
you go to North Carolina, and it's traveling North Carolina, then it's traveling back home.
But
back home.
But this is the thing that I don't think Rob Cameron gets. So let's say he takes Jem through the Stones. Let's say he gets on a boat in Inverness. He makes it all the way back to North Carolina, and he goes towards the cave. Actually, no. The gold is in North Carolina. You actually think that Jeremiah is not going to try to get away and go find his granddad? You are putting yourself too close to danger, because you don't know that Jamie and Claire have left. You don't know that they're in New York.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He may change his mind, and that throws off the time.
You can't. But that's something you can't just change. You don't went through some stones and went 200 years into the past. You can't just, I don't like this, I'm gonna go back. No, you gotta commit.
You do gotta commit, and then you don't know when you're gonna be placed, like where, what time you're gonna be placed.
If he doesn't know the ins and outs of time travel.
We don't even know the ins and outs of time travel. Well, and they don't even know the ins and outs of time travel.
That's true.
But it works for them.
Don't know, but we don't know who Rob Cameron is. He may have had experience. He may know, just like Galis Duncan.
He may know more. Because I think Galis knew a whole lot more than
she had a whole notebook of research that she had done.
Real research.
So, yes.
And
so
everyone else is just going through.
We don't know.
But it works for them.
We just don't know.
Because if I go through the stones, I'm not going to end up where I'm supposed to be.
Because you're going to be thinking of all kinds of things.
Right.
So, and that's one of the things you got to focus.
And it works for them. But that's why we have missing travelers. Because they didn't know.
Because they didn't know.
They didn't know.
I mean, at least Roger and Brianna, at least they know the basics. They know we have to focus on a.
But they learned that from that one time when they didn't go nowhere.
That's true.
And they had to say, what were you thinking of?
We were thinking of home.
We were thinking of home. So clearly
we need to be thinking more specific.
Right, like where we need to be.
Yeah.
Well, when Mandy needed to leave, we had to think we need to go to the future because we need to save our baby. So that's their mindset. So they ended up in the future.
Yeah. We need to go find Uncle Joe so he can fix Mandy's
heart. So you have to like put it on the right channel.
Right. Now, since I mentioned that, I will say this. As far as what happens in the books, I'm not going to spoil what happens in the books because, again, they could change it in the show. But one of the things that I will say is that we do see Joe Abernathy again in the books. And I really hope that they bring him back in the show, even if it's just for an episode, because yes, Brianna has Fiona there in Scotland, but Joe is like family as well. And when all of this is happening, she does need somebody to kind of lean on, and she does reach out to Joe. So I hope we do get to see him again in the back half of season 7. That would be nice. But I will say this, her having to watch Roger go through the stones.
That was
tough. And I just feel like we're about to see a whole different side of Brianna.
Because you don't know. See, like you
but I will say this,
if they're gonna be okay.
But I will say this. If you pay attention to the way Mandy is behaving, I kind of feel like for me,
everything's gonna be
okay. That's telling me everything is gonna be okay. Because she's like, my dad. I mean, and she's not
worried.
She's not worried. She's not crying. Like, this is a child who has full confidence that her dad is going to find her brother and bring him home. She's like,
but she could have a mixture of the traveling and Jamie's.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Shiny.
So we talked about that. So she could know.
Like it's gonna, like, she just could have feelings like this will work out. I mean, I don't know why they up in arms right now, but I get why they up in arms because I'm not hearing Jem, but I know that it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like it will work out. So
that's all we can do. Let's just hope it works out. I hope Rob Cameron gets what's coming to him because
he's causing a whole lot of mess.
And for what?
I don't know. And that reason better be great.
It better be.
Not from the writer. It has to be great. Like I need him to be having some real. Like I need you to be coming out there strong. You want to do this? You come out there strong and say, this is the reason why I did it.
Right.
And stick to it.
And it like you said,
right.
Even though there is no good reason.
It is none.
There's no good reason, but there could be a good motivation. Let's put like that. He might have said, I mean, because he did make that comment to them about his divorce. And he was like, the lawyers with the most money, they tend to win these things. Maybe he's thinking of the French gold because he wants it to try to get his son back. Okay. You can understand that. You can even empathize with that.
You can kidnap another kid for your kid, but I got it.
But I can see where that might in his head make sense. So if that's it, I might be a little more lenient, but for the most part, no. Because you could have because the way you went about it was all really sneaky and really devious. And yeah, I don't like it. So yeah. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But like we said, Jamie and Claire and Ian, they are actually able to go back to Scotland because when Simon Fraser dies, they the British has already been defeated, so they're working out terms of surrender. Well, one of the terms that they bring to General Gates is that Simon Fraser has always expressed his opinion that if he fell on the battlefield, he would like to be buried back home in Scotland. We are requesting, as part of our terms of surrender, for his kinsmen to take him back to Scotland because his men loved him and they respected him and they wanted him to have his last wishes fulfilled. So Jamie, Claire, and Ian get to go back to Scotland. Ian, during this episode, finally declares, well, I won't say he declares, he kind of makes it known to Rachel that he has a thing for, but he wasn't like, I love you. He was just basically
when
like,
you kiss someone back then.
Yeah, that's a big.
And he's not a man just to take liberties.
That is true.
So that means him kissing her it meant something.
And that meant he was ready.
And even though she slapped him, they had a little conversation, and then they came back together again. So that's and shit. He left
the Rollo with
his dog.
So yeah,
so that kind of tells you
that does tell you.
And if that didn't tell you,
we really thought we was done with this dude. Rachel is taking Rollo for a walk. Rollo finds someone that he's like very comfortable with, and he goes up and greets him, and it's motherfucking Archbug.
And if that didn't tell you that Ian loves you,
he was like,
Bug confirms it.
Because she was like, oh no, he belongs to a friend who's gone abroad. I'm just watching until he comes back. Oh, your friend must really love you to leave his beast with you or to leave his dog with you. And the way that she just kind of smiled, Archibald was like, yep,
I'm coming back.
This is what I'm waiting for. I was like,
I'll see you guys in like a few months.
It might be longer than that because we don't know. We don't know how long the journey is from New York to Scotland.
We don't.
I want them to. It can't be a turnaround.
And the sad part is,
you've been gone for years.
Bug should be dying of old age, but he's gonna stay alive until he get his revenge. That's the sad part.
That is the thing that's
keeping
him
around for what? He's just gonna keep watch. So that means again, camera can be one of those things that they're on the side. So Bug is on the sidelines, constantly watching them. So he's gonna be watching Rachel to see when Ian comes back.
I just need that man. I just need everybody to leave the phrases the fuck alone. And
but
I think we've been saying
I am saying
leave Jamie alone.
Has already been through things. I can't take any more.
I know.
For him. Because I was
anymore for like any other family. We've all been through some shit.
They have. But it's something about Jamie and Claire got each other. It's like they got it. You see what I'm saying? They got it. But Ian, he got it too. But damn, let him have a happy
just a sliver.
Life. You know what I'm saying?
A sliver. Because if you think about it, okay, so I've been rewatching all of the old episodes. I started right after Dragon Con. So back in September, I started all the way from the beginning. So this week I have been in season 6. So I'm going through all of the Malva Christie stuff now. And I was reminded that Ian and Malva slept together only once, but it was because he felt like at that time he wasn't ready to move on from Emily. And he told her he didn't want to take advantage of her. And he felt like that was the reason why she accused Jamie, because she was taking it out on him, you know, like, oh, is she a woman scorn? And so to think about his behavior then, like, this is a man who did that and he immediately felt regret, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't do this to you, I'm not ready. And most men wouldn't do that, right? Most men wouldn't do that. So the fact that he even put himself out there for Rachel, you know that he's ready to move forward, especially now that he knows.
Yeah,
you know,
I think it's because he knows
that he has a son. He knows, and so he's able to move forward, to find love again.
And then we got Bug just sitting over here in the corner like a bug.
You know what? I just need him.
However, and that's why I totally at the end on the ship totally missed Jamie's reaction for being home, because I was thinking about Ian, because how Ian left
was
when he was young.
Yeah,
and he has like been through some even from in the Caribbean all the way up to this point. And now you're about to see your mom and dad, and you're back home, and your siblings. So like, I don't know. I just was really feeling him. And then I feel Jamie too, because it's your homeland. And
you thought you would never get back to Scotland.
Never.
So, especially after, like, they left the Ridge a year ago. Yeah. More than a year ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, you've been trying to get back home to Scotland for a year. And now you're finally there.
Finally home. So But
I was like this. I was just crying. I was like, it's Scotland. They're back in Scotland. They made it to Scotland. Well, the ship has made it within land sight.
We're not talking like that. They made it. Oh, damn. I feel like you about to say something about to happen.
I'm just saying.
Ian is about to see his mom and dad. That's what I need when we watch this episode in a few minutes. I need him to hug his mom and dad.
Yeah.
I want to cry about that. And nothing else in between.
Yeah, I'm just saying them and boats don't do
I do understand this. But however, they see the land. If they need to get off that damn ship and swim themselves, they can do it. Okay. I have all the faith in the world.
Right.
All right. So they're home. Okay. They're home. We're saying they're home.
To Scotland.
Okay.
Finally.
He's not going to be arrested. They're home.
He should be, because he's been pardoned for literally everything he's ever done.
And that's a lot.
A lot. So yeah, he this should be a very peaceful visit.
Right. And that's what I want to see.
So, okay. So I think that's pretty much covers this episode 8. Right?
Yeah.
Because we talked about everything. Roger,
the major points.
The Simon Fraser stuff, them seeing William, Rachel, Archibald. So yeah, we hit all the points. So what we're about to do is we're going to go and watch episode 9, and then we're going to come back and we're going to record about that. So for now, that's it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.